And bring your prayer book. And leave your coat. Leave your pocketbook and your coat. So Nancy Ray Seal, we want you to sit on the bema. Everyone with a part. Everyone with a part. Yeah. Everyone with a part. Yeah. If I would leave your pocketbook in the seat personally, make sure your phone is off. That's just my opinion. Yes. Because we want the service to run smoothly.
With some Hebrew or something.
Nancy, if you have a part in the service, come sit on the bema.
Yeah.
Peter?
I got one line.
Oh, whatever they want.
We're going to sit on this side.
Sit anywhere you want.
All right, the men over here. This will be like the Orthodox.
Oh, the man on that side?
Yeah, the men on this side. Where's my brother Bob?
Here we go.
Oh, Bob shows up. Oh, you want to see him? I like sitting in that big chair.
Shabbat Shalom.
I like this chair.
Your battery's dying. Fix your battery.
Oh, all right. There you go. That's cool.
My battery's dying. Shabbat Shalom. We'd like to welcome everyone to Monmouth Reformed Temple tonight. Tonight is a very special service for 3 reasons. First of all, it is the Sisterhood and Men's Club Shabbat, and we thank them for everything that they do. I can't begin to tell you how many things you all make happen in this place, and that if you were not here supporting and volunteering, Monmouth Reform would be a very, very different place, so thank you. We also welcome Turner Roseman and his family. Turner will become a bar mitzvah tomorrow. And working with Turner was a very different experience. He is far mature than a 13-year-old. I felt like I was working with probably a college student. By the way that we were discussing things and pulling things apart and pulling them out. And then tonight is Shabbat Zachor. It's the Shabbat before Purim. Purim, we are taught, we're going to do this tomorrow night, to celebrate with joy and to think about our survival as Jews. So Zachor means that we remember. And we remember what's happened in the past, and we remember what's happening now. So we're going to begin with the Nigun. Please join in.
So the nice part about a nigun is if you don't yet know Hebrew, and the rabbi and I are here to teach you when you're ready, it's all la la and yai bia bim bum, and it doesn't matter what you sing. So please join in. Yai lai la lai 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 la lai, yai lai la lai la 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 lai, yai lai la lai 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 la lai, yai lai la lai la 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 lai, yai lai la lai 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 la lai, yai lai la lai 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 la lai, yai lai. Right, get your blood moving. Lie, 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 go back to my side of the bed, okay?
No, I'm gonna
All
go
right.
in the room.
All right, okay.
We turn to page 120 at this time and invite Turner Rosenman and his parents up to the bima to kindle the lights of Shabbat. And to lead us in Kiddush.
As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all those who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kachanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kosho, b'ahava u'ratzon hinhilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila, Lemikra Kodesh, Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu V'chata Votanu Kidashta Mikol Hamin, V'Shabbat Koshecha V'Ahava Uratzon Hinhaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. You can take a sip.
Chaim.
Grape juice.
Yasher Koach. And a little early mazel tov for tomorrow. We continue our service on page 127. And we invite forward Nancy Zaslow.
Yeah. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace.
Thank you. We turn to page 144 as we rise for the Hatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ימי דברי חירותי וימליך מהותי. בחיי כל יומכם וחיי לכל בית ישראל. בהגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך. לעולם עולם בהלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ופאר ודרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה.
ברכו.
לעילא מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירה מעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
We continue with the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
We remain standing and turn to page 148 as Linda Burns leads us in Ahavat Olam.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro mariv haravim. B'choma poteach sharim, uvit uvna masha mishana itim, umaklif et hazmanim, sader et hakovayim. Mishboretem baharki kirtzono bore yom valayla. Golel or mipnei koshek v'koshek mipnei or umavir yom uve laila umadal bein yom uvein laila Adonai sifot shmo elchai v'chaim tamid yimloch aleinu lolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim. Should I read the English? Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time, and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
Yeshakach.
Wisdom.
Thank you. We turn to page 151. And Dave?
Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that it gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ומלאכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet. We turn to page 157 and invite up Marcy and Ellen to please read.
Marcy, not Margie.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Do you guys want to come here?
All right, you want to be together. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your visions of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
This is a Micha Mocha I started singing recently, so I hope you like it and I hope you learn it. It reminds me a little bit of a Carole King song, and I don't know which one, but anyway, I hope you can participate. Mi chamocha b'nim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nara tehilot osefene, nara tehilot osefene, osefene. Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nara tehilot
אלוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זדי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד לעולם ועד מי כמוך בנים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלה נורא תהילות אוסף אלה אוסף ונאמר כי פד אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We invite Margie forward. Sure.
Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Thank you. We turn to page 164 as we stand for Hatfilah, which is the prayer, or it's also called the Amidah, the standing prayer.
Adonai sefataytimta ufiagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Eliyahu, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zoher Chasevot v'Imahot, Mivigula Nifnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer Moshe Mageim, Baruch atah Adonai, V'yigar Ramav B'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Ne'am Ravnai, Mechye Kol Atam, Rav Lehushia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Marid HaGashem, Mechalkel Hayim V'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol V'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Dofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayei Emunato, Lishenei Afar. Mi chamocha ba'al gevurot, u'midam melech, melech mebit u'mechayeh, u'matzliach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, baruch atah Adonai, michayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasena, baruch atah Adonai,
Please be seated. We turn to page 175 and invite Peter Zaslow up to read. Okay, I'm getting a little jealous that most people are going over to that bima, not this one. But I'll let it sit. I'll let you all marinate with that.
Do you want me to come over there?
But Rabbi, this is how you need to look at it. There's more people on your side of the sanctuary.
Okay.
Okay?
You can stay there. Yeah.
You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, endurance, and let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may feel new strength for your service.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'orecha levadecha be'ira na'avod. Thank you. We turn to page 177 and invite Raciel up to read. Oh, my side. And she's tan and just came back from a fabulous vacation. So.
You do the whole thing? Yeah. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, atav shimcha. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth.
Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha ucher na'eh lahoda. Thank you.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Hasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Hasim Le'olam. Ki Ata Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Ki Ata Lechol HaShalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Hazim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Hazim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chodit u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Hazim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Hazim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam, Tasim Le'olam.
We invite Ellen Rubenstein to read on the top of page 179. It's okay, I've made peace with it.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Grant us peace. Your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace. And give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, to advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Place virtue in every soul. And may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Mavorech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Thank you. Before we take moments of silent prayer, I wanted to explain my little Bima insecurity tonight. Last week, I went to the eye doctor, and it turned out that my prescription from last year was completely off, and they didn't know how I was even reading anything on the page. So I picked out a pair of glasses, and all the people in the shop said, no, they're not good, put them back. So I picked out another pair, no. Finally, all the people who were working there came around with me, and we finally picked out these glasses. And they were so different from me. All right, I always wear tortoiseshell, so they weren't so different from me, but the shape was, they're big. And when I came home to show my family, no one said anything. So I just kept staring at them. And my husband's like, well, you picked them out, you have to wear them. And my daughter was like, well, you'll get used to them. My son said I would have picked something else, but they're not half bad. And my other daughter just asked me for a hug. So I'm embracing my new glasses. And Gabby's wearing a fantastic pair of glasses that bring color and joy to her face. I'm sorry, you've been changing up your glass style.
And so,
I was feeling insecure about my glasses. And so I took it out on everyone sitting on the bima, and I apologize. It's Purim.
Purim.
Exactly the opposite of Yom HaKippurim. So I'm atoning. I am sorry. We take moments of silent meditation.
I'm sorry I had such nice glasses.
We turn to Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of Torah, which is found on page 362, as we ask you all to please rise.
Susharim Rosheichem V'chinasu Pitzchei Olam V'yavo Melech HaKavod Mevoze Melech HaKavod Adonai Tzvaot U'Melech HaKavod Selah U'Melech HaKavod Selah Selah Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Lecha Adonai HaGedula HaGevura HaTiveret VeHaNitzach VeHaHod Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz Lecha Adonai Hamanacha V'minaseh lechol rosh Al shlosha devarim Al shlosha devarim Al shlosha devarim ha'olam omir Al shlosha devarim Al shlosha devarim Al Shosha, Shosha Devarim Ha'olam Ha'olam Omer. Al HaTorah ve'al Ha'avodah ve'al Gemilut Chasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al Ha'avodah ve'al Gemilut Chasadim. Ve'ha'erdenu b'toratecha v'dabek beinu b'mitzvotecha ve'yoti levabeyu le'ahava u'yirah et shemecha Eloi nevush le'olam va'ed Eloi nevush le'olam va'ed.
The Torah portion that I will be chanting from is Vayikra. It's found on page 757 of your big red or blue, the Torah. It is the beginning of the third book of Torah, and it's the one that has to do with the priests and how the priests make sacrifices. In the midst of it, we get the holiness code, which is one of the most special parts of our Torah because it tells us how we take care of other people, that if a bird falls out of a nest, that we bend down and pick it up and put it back up, that we don't put a stumbling block before the blind, that we help everyone who we possibly can, and that we don't find when someone comes before a judge in judgments for the wealthy or for the poor, that we must determine each case and decide who's in the right and who's in the wrong. So we begin with the sacrifices, which, as Turner will tell you tomorrow, are not so pretty. Back up.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. You have such a beautiful voice.
He has a beautiful voice.
Really beautiful.
I know. Sometimes he leads the whole service when I'm not here. Beautiful.
ויקרא אל משה, וידבר אדוני אליו, מאוכל מועד לאמור. דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליכם, אדם כי יקריב מכם קורבן לאדוני מן הבהמה ומן הבקר ומן הצאן, תקריבו את קורבנכם, את עולה קורבנו מן הבקר זכר תמים, יקריבנו על פתח אוכל מועד, ויקריב אותה לרצונו לפני אדוני, ושמח ידו אל ראש העולה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam notah b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Please rise.
B'zot ha'Torah asher tzamodeh livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. B'zot ha'Torah asher tzam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Lai 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 lai
your Bima rep has hurt her arm. You want her to take care of it and nurture it back to full health. So Bob, thank you for carrying and filling in so that Amy can heal. I don't like the way you're holding your arm. At this time in our service, we turn to those who are suffering in body, soul, spirit, and mind. And we know that it takes all of them working together to make a full human being. And if just one of them is out, it alters your existence for the time. And so we hold these people in our prayers. Rabbi Robert Orak, Martha Branween, Nancy Keller-Coffey, Robert Summers, Jessica Knight, Niles Choper, Judith Landau, Pam Friedman, Eric Blumenfeld, Jean O'Connor, Myra Taxa, Bernard Shagan, Linda Kaplan, Baby Mark Y, Michael Gindi, Marian Cardenas, Michael Lynch, Marty Kanarak, Nancy Baskin, Kurt Gruzenfelder, and Avadia Ben Eliyahu Vet Esther. I'm going to turn to the Bima first, but then I'm going to look at you, and if you have anyone whose name, who you know they're suffering or going through something difficult, please put it out there. We know that if people's names are spread, that somehow there is some kind of faster healing. I don't know how the universe works, but I know that that works.
Jim Evans, Michelle Sultana, and Pat Dorsey. Let's do touch band. Don Schatz, Rosie Schatz, and Robert Miller.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rabbi Prezand and Kate Middleton.
Mishaberach is found on page 371. We join together.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabeimach imoteinu, mikor habracha ne'lavotenu, those in need of healing, with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We remain standing as we return the Torah to the ark.
Etz chayimi lamachazeki ba v'tov lechecha me'ushar deracheicha nachlinoa v'chon timotecha shalom v'ashireinu Adonai elecha v'nashuva hadei shaminu kekedem hadei shaminu kekedem.
If you guys wish to come sit down, you can do that now. But without the men's club and sisterhood, our holidays would not be what they were. We would not have a sukkah put up. We would not have had the huppah put up at our mafia mystery. Sisterhood offers so many activities for so many different age people in the congregation. There are book groups, there's mahjong, there's baking hamantaschen. There's so much that they do that enriches each and every one of us. And thank you both for generous donations in helping our kids go to Washington, D.C., and go to summer programs, and just enriching us all by your presence. Tomorrow night, we read Megillat Esther. It is a remarkably relevant guide as to what it means to be a Jew today. It didn't happen all at once for us. It took work to shed the names, accents, and customs of our immigrant forebears. But eventually, we did it. An unspoken bargain was struck. What we lost in distinctiveness, we would gain in social acceptance. In the abstract, we long for return to the land. Next year in Jerusalem, we say at our Seder tables. But in practice, we were no longer homeless in the diaspora. We had made it. The blessings were real. We felt comfortable here in our Jewishness. I felt comfortable enough to walk around with a kippah on my head. And the only remarks that I ever got were from people in line saying, "Oh, my son's not Jewish, but he just joined the Hillel on his campus. Where can I get him one of those things on your head?" And I would tell them, or, "Oh, I didn't know they made them for women. How pretty, where did that one come from?" Or stories of grandparents, grandfathers who are great rabbis who wore them. The blessings were real. And so who could blame us for being shocked when the rug was pulled from beneath our feet? When Haman became Hamas and wanted to annihilate the Jews yet again. People began saying that we were different, that because of our fealty to our people and our faith, we had become a threat to the social order. A sharp uptick in anti-Semitism in this, our country, and according to an article in Atlantic magazine, the Jewish Medina, or Golden Age, was over. Or maybe, as some opined, it was never so golden after all. So where do we turn for guidance in a time like this? Megillat Esther gives us the answer. It tells us what it means to be a Jew today. It is one of the most beautifully crafted literary creations. Esther tells this tale of a diaspora Jewish community who navigated its status as a distinct minority in the majority culture of Persia's capital, Shushan. Having deposed of Queen Vashti, King Ahasuerus issues an edict to bring forth every young maiden for consideration to be the new royal consort. While the event is staged the world over as some sort of Miss Persia beauty pageant, it's not clear if this palace proclamation was received as an invitation for social advancement or a fear-inducing edict akin to Pharaoh's decree against the male children of the book of Exodus. It was both opportunity and fear, a possibility to move up in a world and much would be given up. Esther is introduced to us. Aside from her physical beauty, we know that Esther is a Jew and an orphan, the ward of her foster father, uncle, cousin, he's called everything, Mordechai. Mordechai is actually the first person in the Megillot, in the Torah, to be called a Jew, Yehudi, referring to one descendant from the tribe and the land of Judah, citizens of their host country, but distinct as a people and connected to another land. One senses that Esther's orphan status was not just biological. Separated from her family of origin and land, she was Jewish, a Judean exile in King Ahasuerus' court. When Esther enters the king's palace, Mordecai advises her to keep her identity secret. The name Esther comes from the Persian astir, meaning I will hide. So even in the beginning, she's a hidden Jew. 12 months of oil and myrrh, a makeover princess worthy of the best and worst of reality TV. Esther sheds any vestiges, any traces of her religious identity, and assimilates into her non-Jewish environs. She becomes queen by marrying a non-Jewish king, the ultimate act of assimilation. And he does not know that she's a hidden Jew. Esther has gained much, but she has also left much behind. One wonders how she felt when she looked in the mirror and saw a Persian queen staring back at her. We know the same was true of Joseph, who became chief vizier over Egypt and shaved his head and wore makeup. That was common during that time. In the first 2 chapters of Megillat Esther, they signal the comforts of Persian Jewish life. It's in the 3rd chapter that everything bottoms out. Haman is promoted in the king's court, and Mordecai refuses to bow down. Haman's wrath waxes hot. In Haman's mind, Mordecai's actions are a reflection on all Jews. And he brings the matter to the king's attention. He says, there is a certain people scattered and dispersed among all the peoples and the provinces of your realm, whose laws are different from those of any other people, and who do not obey the king's laws. If it please your majesty, let an edict be drawn for their destruction. Sounds familiar. Ahasuerus, operating either out of willed ignorance or political expediency, gives the green light for the Jews to be decimated. As news of the edict spreads through the kingdom, the city of Shushan is dumbfounded. They don't feel the same hatred of Jews as Haman, but it would take a rare act of courage to stand and look in his face and tell him otherwise. Haman understood that his hatred, combined with the king's enabling and a nation of bystanders, was all he needed to carry out his plan. In chapter 4 comes the decisive turning point. Mordecai relays the ominous message to Esther, imploring her to appeal to the king and plead on behalf of her people. He says, do not imagine that you of all Jews will escape with your life by being in the king's palace. On the contrary, if you keep silent in this crisis, relief and deliverance will come to the Jews from another quarter, while you and your father's house will perish. And who knows, perhaps you have attained to a royal position for such a time as this. Invoking the pull of peoplehood, Mordecai links Esther's fate both to that of her contemporaries and to her ancestral roots. Her true identity will eventually come out, and not even her royal status will offer protection. Both she and her father's house and our people's homes will be wiped out. And so for the first time in her life, Esther becomes a protagonist in her own story. She instructs Mordecai to assemble all the Jews to fast. Yesterday was that fast day. In a breach of protocol and at great personal risk, she seeks an audience with the king. She knows that she may die, but she can no longer keep her identity nistar, hidden. Esther has to come out of the shadows as a Jewish woman and a queen, leaning into all 3 aspects of her being, a heroine for her time, a heroine for ours. Esther's parable stands out as an enduring story for Jewish identity. Post-October 7th, the scroll's description of the precarious nature of diaspora existence with haters, enablers, and bystanders hits too close to home. We feel for Esther as she squirms in her indecision. What is she going to do? Is she going to go to the king and reveal who she really is? Is she going to take up the call of her people? Or will she remain silent and wait for someone else to stand up? She thinks, as we do now, is this really our fight? Esther risked it all for her people, power, prestige, and social acceptance. Esther didn't choose that moment, it chose her. But when that moment arrived, she threw down her lot with her people. And it's to Esther whom we turn to direction on what it means to be a Jew today. Esther risks it all for her people. Most of all, she leverages her station in life and is unapologetic about her roots and the right of her people to stand tall as citizens and Jews. Most of all, she does not let the hatred of Jews define her. The text notes later in chapter 9:27, a verse understood by the rabbis to sing a joyful and relational acceptance of Jewish identity. Esther the person and Esther the book are important not merely because of what they teach about fighting Jew hatred. They are important because they teach that the Jew haters do not get to define the Jewishness of Jews. We do. This is an Esther moment. We all witnessed what happened on October 7th when Hamas entered the land of Israel and sought out to destroy the Jewish people. They came in every single way, yelling out in Hebrew that they were members of the IDF coming to rescue the people on the kibbutzim and the young people who were celebrating at the Nova concert. They betrayed the people that they had worked with for years. And people seem to forget that Hamas attacked first and that there would be a retaliation of Hamas. When you look at the newspapers or look at social media, it's printed all over the place that people equate Hamas, the terrorists, with the Palestinians. And in some cases, we've discovered that that's so, that some of the doctors who worked in the hospitals were members of Hamas. That there were people who had tunnels that led up to their homes. But we as Jews have also said that not all Palestinians are members of Hamas, and those who are suffering need to be cared for. It's what we teach in the book of Leviticus. Leave the corners of your field for those to come and eat. And Israel's working as hard as it can to build a port so that they can deliver by ship the amount of food that the Palestinian people need in this humanitarian crisis. This time tells us that we need to do what we need to do, and that we also need to keep our people together and celebrate our history. That we need to rejoice tomorrow night. That we need to make jokes and dance and be silly and hafoch ba, turn the world upside down again. Dress as someone who you never thought you'd be. We're commanded to drink until we don't know the difference between Haman and Mordecai. And if you wish to do so, make sure you have a designated driver. But tomorrow is a day of joy. Esther and her people celebrate after Haman and his sons are put to death. They have survived once again. And I can't help but notice that many of those who wish to get rid of the people Israel, Hitler, Haman, Hamas, have H names. I don't know what to make out of that. Who knows? But we fight for who we are, and we wear our Jewishness on our sleeves, around our necks, on our heads, and we wear it proudly because we're not going anywhere. We rise and turn in our prayer books to page 586 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לדוד הכל, מטה גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורר עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Page 595. It's hard to sing of oneness when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and nothing but memory can fill the emptiness that their passing leaves. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those who we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. And yet we understand that no one is truly alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and our hearts and our minds. And what they did is part of what we have become. We do our best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For in each of our lives, the worth of the life is the entire one, and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. On this Shabbat, we mark the period of Shiva for Lori Ross Fielding, and we will have a Shiva service, a time for all of us to gather together and comfort our President, Dean Ross, on Sunday afternoon at 4. We mark the Shloshim of Louis Michael Capecci, and we mark the yahrzeits of those who died at this season in years past. Charles Barron, Samuel Blonder, Meyer Smolensky Collis, Alter Epstein, Marilyn Grabois, Doreen Haran, Doris Hyatt, Alexander Kaplan, Adolf Klein, Stephen Eugene Lend, Ellen Moak Leverett, Rhea Levy, Samuel Mausner, Jane Medali, Michael Mincer, Sharon Prezan, Jacob Rubenstein, Ronald Shore, Murray L. Scheckman, Michael R. Simon, Jacob Talberth, Robert Teitelbaum, and Ira Walker. If there's anyone else who you are remembering this Shabbat, Please state their name when my eyes meet yours.
Cantor, Danny Saldana.
We turn to page 598 and recite together the ancient words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, v'yalmad divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'kol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kedusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiram v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Huyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Huyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Please be seated. Amy Sukanik represents our Board of Trustees and has some announcements for us tonight.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us tonight. We have a few announcements for this evening. The Tzedakah Box collection for March is Shine a Light. The Shine a Light initiative provides and installs lights on bicycles for workers and others in the Red Bank community whose primary means of transportation is a bicycle. This initiative was founded by our president, Dean Ross, about 10 years ago. Volunteers from MRT work with the Red Bank Police Benevolent Association on this project. More information about the following events can be found in the weekly e-blast. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. is the bar mitzvah of Turner Rosenman. Mazel tov to you and your family. Tomorrow night is our Elton John Purim Spiel. If you have not already RSVP'd, reservations for the 7 p.m. dinner are closed, but all are welcome to attend the Spiel at 6 p.m., featuring the music of Elton John. It promises to be a hilarious performance. If you dress in costume, you'll be invited to take part in our parade before the king. On Sunday, April 7th, the Adult Ed Committee will welcome our scholar-in-residence, Dr. Ronald Wallenfels, for a presentation entitled From Abraham to Balfour, a revisionist history of the Holy Land. Dr. Wallenfels will discuss our Jewish history from Abraham to the Romans, and then the Romans to modern times. The event will be held in person and on Zoom. Save the date, Tuesday, April 23rd, for our annual Passover Second Night Seder. Tonight's Oneg is sponsored by Dean and Sharon Ross in loving memory of Dean's mother, Laurie Ross Fielding. Are you celebrating a birthday, anniversary, or other special simcha, or observing a loved one's yahrzeit? Consider sponsoring an Oneg in order to honor the occasion. Contact the main office for more information. MRT continues to engage together in meaningful ways. We would love for more people to invest in our mission of connecting as a Jewish community. We welcome your investment of time as well as donations to help us grow. For information on joining our MRT family or making a donation, please contact Jordana in our office or visit our website, www.monmouthreformtemple.org. Rabbi Edelman and Cantor Clissold are always available as well. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Amy.
Our closing song tonight
is Adon Olam, and this is what I call the Cab Calloway version of Adon Olam. You'll know why when you hear it, and because it has Heidi, Heidi, Hi in it. So, all right. So anyway, you'll get it, and we've done it before, and I think it really sets us in the right direction of celebrating the jolly feast of Purim. Adon Olam Asher Malach
Heidi, 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 B'terem kol yetzir nivra. Heidi, 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 Li'et nasa v'chefso kol. Heidi, 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 Azay melech shmo nikra. Heidi, 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 Ve'acharei kichlat hakol, Levadoyim loch nora. Ve'hu haya, ve'hu hove, ve'hu yeh b'tifara. Heidi, 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 Adon olam asher malach. Heidi, 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 B'terem kol yetzir nivra. Heidi, 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 Nitnasa v'cheso kol. Heidi, 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 Azay melech shmo nikra. Heidi, 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 Ve'hu echad v'yein sheni, Neham shilo lehachbira. Beli reshit, beli tachlit, Velo hazeh hamizra. Heidi, 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 Adon olam asher malach. Heidi, 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 B'terem kol yetzir nivra. Heidi, 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 Li'et nasa v'chefso kol. Heidi, 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 Azay melech shmo nikra. Heidi, 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 Ve'hu hedi v'chai gohadi, V'tzorchedi b'yitzara. Ve'hu nisi u'manos li, Menat kosi b'yom ekra. Heidi, 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 Adon olam asher malach. Heidi, 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 B'terem kol yetzir nivra. Heidi, 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 Echasa v'cheso kol. Heidi, 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 Azay melech shmo nikra. Heidi, 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 V'yado agid ruchi, V'tishan v'hayira. V'yim ruchi gevi'ati, Adonai ni v'lo yira.
I don't hear you.
Heidi, Heidi, Adon olam asher malach. Heidi, 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 B'terem kol yetzir nivra. Heidi, 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 Li'et nasa v'chefso kol. Heidi, 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 Azay melech shmo nikra. Heidi, 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 Heidi.
I'm gonna die to the motzi. Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, all right, Minnie the Moocher.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Please come,
shalom.
take a delicious piece of challah, and then go inside.
See you
There's
next
all
door.
kinds of, wonderful goodies to eat.
Shabbat shalom.
Wait, your arm. Your arm. Thank you, Turner.